Hey guys, how you all doing? So Dan from Trading with Dan here. So this is gonna be a video. It's basically for the VIP members and just showing them the best setup that I use to decide on when I'm gonna enter and exit and what I'm looking for in the bot trades that we have going on at the moment. So I'll take you straight over to the charts and we'll get into it. So so you can see what we've got here. This Dominator here is where the bot will be looking to take buys and sells. So this is when it will get triggered. This Dominator here, this is a larger time frame Dominator. It's actually equivalent to the one that you see me use on the 25-minute. The settings are adjusted obviously because we're on the 15-minute, but this is equivalent to the 25-minute. So this gives you a larger time frame overview on where the larger time frame market is going. I mean, if I take this off for a second, take range and stop off, you kind of see where we're going. 25. So this is in effect 25-minute Dominator like you normally see. So buy there, market goes up, sell. I mean, goes to sell, we don't really go down. Then buy, market goes up, sell. It turns into a sell there, and then we do have a bit of sideways, and then we start to go back up again, then a bit of a sell, and then back up again, and then generally a sell. But obviously this was a big move which the Dominator got correct and stayed buy and stayed strongly buy for a lot of the time. So obviously the look back period for this Dominator is obviously taking into account a lot of this movement. So it is consolidating, it is averaging out, so it's going to maybe flip flop about a bit after that sort of a move. But though that's what that does. So that kind of tells you whether you really want to be looking for shorts or longs based on the overall trend. This here is momentum direction, which again is another momentum indicator, kind of showing us once we break below, when the lines are obviously blue here, you can see that we're generally bullish, and as you can see the market generally goes up. When the lines are basically under the line, under the average here, then we're basically really looking for sells. So this is it's again showing you whether the momentum is up or down. Obviously you can do slope analysis on this as well, on this line here, to kind of also gauge whether the overall momentum's up or down. And then when you get these extremes, these diamonds here will form where we're getting with potentially potential lows or highs in the shorter term. So you can see we've got one there and one there. We've got some highs here and highs here, some lows. Oops, sorry, what's this? Why is it doing that? Reset chart. We don't want to do that. Wait, let me just save this. I don't know why it wants to reset the chart. I haven't seen that come up before. Yeah, anyway, so some lows here, highs here. It's trying to get some highs here, but obviously we do go higher. I mean, nothing's perfect. A high here, a low here, and a low here, and then sort of a high there, high there. It's trying to cause some highs, but obviously we had breaking out volatility here. So initially it doesn't know that, and then obviously then it sees that we are moving faster. So yeah, so momentum direction is good as well to get an overall trend. Right, so let's get the range and stop on. So this is the what we want to use to basically decide what level. So we've got the bot telling us to look for a buy or a sell. We've got the bot telling us to look for a buy or sell. We've got the long term Dominator telling us whether we're generally bullish or bearish, and then we've got this to refer to as well, the momentum direction. So you can see we are actually, as I'm recording this, about to trigger a sell here on the bot. So basically we're going to look for a sell. You can kind of see here we're middle of the range and stop range, but we've got downward momentum here. We're also in the sell Dominator. So then over to range and stop, you can see again here, we're in this shaded red area, which shows we're in a longer term time frame down as well. You can actually see as well the shortest time frame for range and stop. This line here that you can see moves with the price, and kind of encapsulates a lot of the range, as you can see. So as it's going along here, you can kind of see this is the range at that point in time. So you can see how we range between it. That's the shortest time frame one. You can see that is red, so that also is a sell. So this isn't necessarily the worst sell trade for the bot to take immediately, just based on what we're looking at here. But what I want to show you is maybe other trades that you get that you might think, well, I don't particularly want to take this one. So for example, this buy one we had here, so we've got a buy here around there, and that's purely based on this 15-minute here. But if we want to look at range and stop, for a start range and stop, we're in a red zone anyway, so we're in an overall downward trend. That is also signified here by 25-minute Dominator as well. But you can kind of see this does stay red longer than Dominator. It goes red before Dominator and stays red, so it's a bit more reactive. So we're in a red here on the range and stop, so we are basically bearish. We're bearish in basically this Dominator, which is our longer term one, and then also our momentum is still down. So you may not want to take this buy, is what I'm saying. And then obviously the larger time, I mean, finally, and the most important part for what we have identified in the group is that obviously we're at the top of the range and stop basically level. So that is not necessarily, maybe if we break and close above this, then then we take a buy, but we wouldn't necessarily want to take that buy there. So if you're monitoring this with range and stop on the 15-minute, and you can see we're getting to the top of there, you could not take that trade, or you can take the trade with a tighter stop, so then we do start to come back, then just stop out the trade if you want early, or you can wait till we go higher and then manually buy yourself. So there we go. So right, we'll now look at the next signal, see what happens. So we get a sell signal here. You can see again everything is pretty much bearish again. We are in the red zone on this shorter time frame range and stop setting. You can see the shaded area is red. You can see, and this is also orange, which is showing a downtrend. Yellow basically shows uptrend, orange shows downtrend. So the actual time frame there, is price action going to come back? Let's get price action back. Oh, I've moved it down there. That's annoying, isn't it? How have I even done that? Let's see if I can just pull it back. There we go. I've not pulled price action actually into an indicator before. Interesting that you can do that though, so you can actually then look at it directly against the indicator. So that's actually quite interesting. But yeah, so you learn something new every day, even if you are just basically being an idiot in the process of discovering it. Right, so we've just done this buy signal. Sorry, say we've got the sell signal. We've just done this buy one. We've looked at this sell signal here. Was it that one here? Yeah, so it was this one here. So we're on this candle here. So again, red shaded area for range and stop. This is the large time frame down. You can see we're clearly going down in this shorter time frame as well. We are red in Dominator. We're actually the line here is clear below this average line here, this momentum line here. So it does show that we are either potentially overextended or going to have a strong trend down. So basically we are moving down is what it's saying, the divergence between here and here. So that momentum down, and obviously the slope analysis shows that we are down as well. So you might be saying, do I want to take this short here, or do I want to see if I can get the top of the range again? But with all this bearish indication, everything bearish basically, this large box, this small box, the shaded area bearish, this Dominator bearish, and this momentum indicator bearish, it's probably telling you should probably take this short now, because we're not necessarily going to be able to get the top of the range. So again, similarly, we had a buy here, on this candle here. So I mean, this is just textbook what I was saying before. This is basically the same as this one here. Again, all bearish, apart from what is bullish is this very, I mean, the only thing that is bullish, same here and same here, is this very short time frame range and stop, which encapsulates obviously the shorter time frame action, as you can see. that is bullish, and that is also bullish here. But again, this is the same as before. 25, this Dominator bearish, this momentum direction. We have popped above it. Have we popped above it by that point? Yeah, we have popped above it, but again, slope analysis there, still bearish, still in the red trend. We're not sloping up. So that again would not necessarily be something I would wanna necessarily take. So this is where it does get a little bit interesting. Where you can find some real value here is that we then get a sell trade here. So we get the sell trade here. And as you can see, price does move quite a bit before, but we've got the sell trade here, and we can basically see that at this point, this is the median line for the momentum direction. Whilst it is going down, we're still above the median line, the 100 basically level. So we are not necessarily overly bearish at that point. You can see this larger time frame Dominator has not long ago turned bearish, so it's not the most bearish. You can also see that whilst this is stepping down, you can see this is stepping down quite fast. We've actually been in a longer period here of not really moved up or down. You can see this has been green for a while too. And so what you've actually got here is a potential with this sell is that it's maybe not necessarily going to be the best sell level, and you may then think, right, okay, I'm going to wait for the top of the range to take this sell. So whilst it just clicked buy, but you're not going to take a buy based on obviously everything being bearish and downwards at the time for the time being. You are then potentially going to look for the sell at the top of the range and the larger time frame range, the larger range box, which is this one here. So this sell here, based on your analysis of what's going on here, you might think, okay, I will wait for the top of the range because I could potentially get it, and then you don't have to have your stop much above it. You do get a buy as well, so if you do fully break above that and close above there, you could maybe take a buy, and then you can, that obviously is bullish, and we may in that occasion we would potentially then go up. So that's what you can do, but you can see that sell there is definitely different to this sell here. This sell here, you've been bearish here for longer. You are now below this medium line here. You have got you have got basically bearish short-term price action, where here you've actually got bullish short-term price action here. Well, it's green, moved up, and it's green, and it's obviously it hasn't moved up yet by that point, but you can see. So right, so there you go. So that's that one. So I'm going to take us to the next one. So we've got a buy here. And this would be maybe a bit more of a difficult one, because we've got the buy here. You can see that the larger term Dominator has actually just clicked to sell, but it's only just changed to sell. You can see here we're above the median line here. You can see the shorter term time frame has just ticked green. But what you have got is for this buy is that you are not necessarily in a bullish range. You can see with the trend obviously is down here, so we're in the red now. We're no longer in the green here. The larger box is red as well, so maybe this is an instant where if you were going to take a buy based on this signal because you wanted to go long, then you maybe wait to hit the bottom of the box. And we do actually hit the bottom of the box, but later on, but after we would have been looking for other signals, which would have been the sell and the sell there. But we do hit the bottom of the box, and incidentally, obviously the bottom of the range on the larger time frame, if you did take that short, is a good place to take profit. So obviously people that were patient and waiting to buy, look, you can see they potentially bought at the bottom of this range here. And also it will be a good place to cover your short as well. So it's a good place to buy if you're short covering, good place to buy if you want to go long. So you can see we do bounce off that a bit. Obviously we do come back through it, but that obviously this bounce here is based on what I've just told you. So right, so we've got a sell trade here now, guys. So this one again, this one's a tough one, because obviously this is where we have been moving up here, look. So we've got a sell trade. Which one was it? It was this one here. So Dominator is in a buy, so you obviously got to take that into account. We are quite high up here as well in this momentum, but you can see we are in the red zone, so it's an area where we could start to turn down from, and we actually do turn down from. The sell comes whilst we are relatively in the middle of the zone, but we are in red now here. We are in red now here. and we are in red now here on this short-term box. So it could be a short you want to trade. If you wanted to be aggressive, you could wait for the top of the range to try and sell, which you actually wouldn't get. But that's just is what it is, isn't it? You can't always get it, so you would have to make that decision there yourself at the time. So this is a buy here. So this buy wouldn't be the worst looking buy. We're still green in the larger time frame Dominator. We've got the buy there. We're green here. We are red there, and we are topping out here. But we have been in a general up move. We have had quite a bit of green on here. You could look at this and think maybe we are going to resume the trend upwards. So you could take that buy. We do move up a little bit. You'd be cognizant of the fact we are coming towards the top of the range and are at the top of the range. So that would be something that would say, well, I don't really want to take this buy. And then as you can see, we do basically bounce off the top of the range. So once we get rejected from there, you would definitely be looking at taking that trade off. Not necessarily going short, because obviously nothing is necessarily looking like you want to take a short there, other than purely the fact that we hit the top of the range, which isn't a bad thing to do. Buying and selling the top of these wider ranges blindly of anything else isn't the worst thing to do, as long as obviously you stop out once we close below. So there you go. We then get an interesting sell trade here. Nothing really is telling you to go short in the actual price action, other than, well, nothing really. Nothing's really saying to go short. But you would expect maybe the market will turn around at some point, but you don't really want to be one of those people trying to call the top of the market. So you could then say, okay, then I see we've got a short here. I mean, we're green here, we're green in the large time frame, we're green in the Dominator, it's all green. I don't want to take a short here. If I'm going to take a short, I will wait for the top of the larger time frame range, which we don't get it here, but we do get it here. So we do come down. So you think, well, you can, oh, I wish I had taken that trade. Hindsight trading is great, but like I said, you've got to look at your indicators you've got here, and it's not necessarily a short you want to take. So you don't take it. Price action then goes the way it goes. It goes the way it won't always go with what you want it to do, what you think it's going to do, but it does. It goes down. So then, okay, fair enough, you missed that short. There's nothing wrong with that. You can miss trades, that's not a problem. And then what happens is you then have a new basically wider time frame range and stop, and then you could then look to take that short here. You can then say, well, okay, now I've got red range in range and stop in the shaded area. You haven't actually got it in the shorter time frame, but you have got it in the larger box, and you are looking to short the top of the larger time frame. So you could then take a speculative short up here based on this sell here. Have you stop? I mean, you don't have to have it, but you have to stop as a candle close out of it, or move a certain distance, or a candle close, because that would then start to move the box up again. But yeah, it doesn't. And then again, then you get the dump down. I mean, dump down pretty straight in. You straight in the profit. You could then take profit and then look to basically re-enter that short, just because we're back at the top of the range again. Still red, and actually red here too. So you could look to take the short again. If not, you get the sell signal here and take the short. So right, that is some recent price action. I'm a bit cognizant of how long this video is, so I don't want to make it much longer, and by analysing more price action, I will probably do these maybe daily now, just so we can go through it on a daily basis with daily price action, because the price action I've gone through today is only really today's and yesterday's, and you can see how using that analysis you can definitely improve how you're going to enter and exit trades. But right, so remember, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. Always do your own research. Also remember, guys, that if anybody is interested in these indicators, or basically been part of our group, the Telegram, basically the descriptions in the description for this video, so you can find me on there. But yeah, so thanks for listening again, guys. Hope that was useful. Remember, this is a tutorial sort of video of how to look at it for the current VIP members, who are basically looking at range and stop with this. But also this is to just show how good it works for people that aren't currently members anyway. So yeah, hit me up if you guys are interested. So any other questions, I mean, you guys in the group feel free to ask me. I can go through those. But I hope this has been helpful for you guys, and I'll speak to you soon.